People often believe investing failure comes from sudden disasters. They imagine crashes, scandals, or bad luck. But most losses begin quietly. They begin with choices that felt normal. These choices rarely feel dangerous at the time. They feel reasonable and widely accepted. They feel supported by others. That comfort is part of the risk. Money is not just currency sitting in an account. It represents time you already spent earning it. It represents choices you delayed or sacrificed. Once money is damaged, options shrink. The market does not punish mistakes immediately. It allows poor decisions to survive for years. That delay builds confidence. Confidence becomes the trap. Many people believe success comes from finding winners. They search for the next opportunity endlessly. They focus on what to buy. They forget what to avoid. Avoidance is not exciting. It does not create stories. It does not attract attention. But it quietly protects wealth. Some investments are designed to work against individuals, not obviously, not instantly, but persistently over time. Understanding this matters because repetition multiplies outcomes. Small disadvantages grow quietly. Small protections do the same. Time amplifies everything. The first investment that destroys wealth is anything you do not fully understand. Not partly. Understand, not understand because someone explained it confidently. Understand clearly in your own words. If you cannot explain how it works, pause. That pause is not weakness, it is awareness. Awareness protects capital. Complexity often disguises risk. It sounds intelligent and sophisticated. It creates distance from reality. Distance increases vulnerability. People assume hard ideas must be better. They associate difficulty with quality. This assumption is costly. Simplicity often survives longer. When complexity increases, control decreases. You rely on explanations instead of understanding. You trust systems you cannot see. That trust is fragile. Fragile confidence collapses under stress, especially during market declines, especially when fear spreads, especially when decisions matter. Most unclear investments create paralysis. You do not know what action makes sense. You hesitate. Hesitation locks in outcomes. Freezing feels safe but is expensive. It removes flexibility. Flexibility is survival. Survival always comes first. Understanding does not mean certainty. It means clarity about drivers. It means knowing what matters and what does not. If you cannot separate signal from noise, step back. Noise demands attention aggressively. Signal speaks quietly. Calm reveals truth. The second investment that quietly destroys wealth is anything with high costs. Costs feel invisible when returns are good. They hide behind performance. They feel justified. Fees never pause. They never forgive. They compound relentlessly, regardless of outcome. Most people focus on gains and ignore leakage. But leakage decides long-term results. Small drains add up quietly until disappointment appears. High costs are often sold as convenience. They promise simplicity. They promise less effort. They promise peace of mind. Peace purchased with ignorance is fragile. Responsibility does not disappear. It only changes hands, and the bill still arrives. Markets do not care about your expenses. They do not reward loyalty. They do not compensate effort. They simply reflect reality. Higher costs guarantee friction. Friction slows compounding. Time magnifies that slowdown. Outcomes quietly narrow. Most people underestimate small percentages. They feel harmless. They feel negotiable. They are not. A small fee every year becomes a large absence later. You rarely notice it happening. You only feel regret without knowing why. Lower cost does not guarantee success, but a higher cost guarantees disadvantage. Disadvantage compounds over time, silently and consistently. The third investment that destroys wealth is speculation disguised as opportunity. It focuses on price movement, not value creation, not production. Speculation depends on emotion, on attention, on timing, on hope. Ownership depends on endurance, on patience, on real activity, on time. Speculative assets feel exciting. They move fast. They reward watching. They demand reaction. Reaction feels productive but often is not. It shortens perspective. It amplifies emotion. It increases mistakes. Fast movement feels like progress, but movement is not growth. Noise is not information. Attention is not income. Speculation trains impatience. It discourages reflection. It rewards confidence early, then punishes size later. Early success reinforces bad habits. It increases belief. Belief increases exposure. Exposure magnifies losses. Speculation rarely ends slowly. It ends suddenly, with confusion and regret. People blame timing when speculation fails. They blame luck. They blame manipulation. Rarely. Structure determines outcomes. It shapes behavior. It controls stress. It decides survival. Ownership-based investing feels dull. It lacks drama. It lacks urgency. It lacks excitement. Dull allows endurance. Endurance allows compounding. Compounding creates wealth, quietly over time. Boring strategies survive storms. Exciting ones burn energy. Energy runs out. Time does not stop. Fear never disappears. Greed never leaves. They adapt. They become persuasive. The market does not rush you. It waits. Impatience volunteers losses. Patience collects rewards. Small mistakes repeat easily. A little confusion. A little cost. A little speculation. Together they compound negatively, not once, but continuously, until damage feels permanent. Avoiding bad investments matters more than finding great ones. You do not need brilliance, you need restraint and awareness. Protecting capital is not pessimism. It is respect for time. Loss steals years. Recovery demands patience. Good investing feels uneventful. Most days are quiet. Most months are boring. That is healthy. Urgency is often a warning, not of opportunity, but of pressure. Pressure clouds judgment. If something flatters your intelligence, question it. If it demands speed, pause. If it hides behind complexity, step back. Calm reveals reality. Your future does not require excitement. It requires stability. It requires discipline. It requires time. You are not competing with professionals. You are competing with impulse. Control that. Results improve naturally. Money grows best when left alone. Overmanagement destroys progress. Activity feels productive. Restraint performs better. One of the clearest investors in history, Warren Buffett, avoided what he did not need to understand. He avoided unnecessary cost. He avoided speculation. That discipline built longevity. If this perspective helped you think more clearly, support the channel. A like or comment helps it reach others. Subscribing keeps calm thinking alive. Your support matters. The most powerful investment decision is knowing what to refuse.